Is the league to blame for bangs to the brain? Well, it's being called the biggest sports lawsuit ever, with 2,000 former football players accusing the NFL of hiding data linking head injuries to brain damage. The ex-players claimed the league was aware of the health risks posed by repetitive blows and the fact that concussion-type injuries put them at risk for long-term brain damage. And the suit also says the league, quote, exacerbated the risk by promoting the game's violence. The NFL, which is challenging the ex-players' right to sue, says this is nonsense, saying any allegation that the NFL sought to mislead players has no merit. It stands in contrast to the league's actions to better protect players and advance the science and medical understanding of the management and treatment of concussions. A lot of big words there. I didn't understand a lot of them. Anyway, are you snoring? It's an important story. Anyway, I'm not a big football fan. This is more my sport. Terrible. Both have sustained serious injuries later. Bernie, here's the thing. Yes. We know football is high risk. And not just for head injuries, but for paralysis and all sorts of things. Sure. And that's why they're well compensated for it. So is this? I mean,
that's the risk you take.
Ooh, Rod's shaking his head.
Well, that's why they wear helmets.
This has the whiff of some, whiny old bitter players just trying to cash in on some easy money. This is the kind of case that ambulance chasers like John Edwards made his fortune on. That's exactly what this is.
No.
And you know what the proof is that a lot of these guys, they sound like semi-coherent muttonheads. But if you look at them when they were younger, they sounded the same way before the game started. So I don't think they really have much of a case.
No, they got much of a case. First of all, the NFL looked into it themselves in like 2000 or 99 and came up and said there's no proof that if you have a concussion in a game or during a season that you'll get reconcussed or you have a problem getting reconcussed like in that same game or during that same season, which everybody knows is a lie. So it's like that. Not only did they cover it up, they changed the findings. So somebody should get sued. And you do know there's injuries come along when NFL playing in the NFL, but nobody's going to think they won't recognize their long lost friends or their family members or their wife.
The only thing is, but
no money is worth that.
A lot of the data that they're using is old, and a lot of the new data shows that that a lot of football players are living like the retiree has half the death rate as their male non-playing counterpart. And this is what the weirdest fact. The reason is because when you play sports, you tend not to smoke, and you tend to watch your diet, so you live longer. You may have harder.
It's not coincident that all these guys are shooting themselves in the chest so you can study their brains.
No, but again, they have half the rate of suicide of other men, so that doesn't hold up.
Well, first of all, I hear what you're saying. The size of this case, though, from cases that I've covered over the years, is just too big for there to be an outright win by these players. I mean, there are 1,000 players, so you can't really picture it. But the other problem that they're going to have is, when did you get the head injury that was like the one drop of water that caused all the problems? Was it in Pee Wee League? Was it in high school? Was it in college?
Was it in a bar fight?
Yeah, I mean, there's no way to say when it started. And about those findings in the year 2000 or whatever it was, I mean, that will come out in discovery if this case gets that far. I haven't seen any definitive facts to show that that's true.
Because
right now you see emotion.
But I don't think it'll get that far. I think the NFL will pay to make this go away.
They probably will.
It's cheaper than the damage it's going to cause.
It's not like it's like broke players or all retired players who don't have money. It's big names like Ed McMahon, who played for the Bears, who got a lot of money. But he still said he was injured and he got concussions.
I just think it's after
affects his life now.
I wonder, too, is this going to spread to hockey? Because we've seen other players.
It has to. It's going to be
knocking themselves out.
What are you going to ban football? What I mean, is that what the
some of these hits got to be banned? Here's the
what are you?
We'll play touch football now.
It's got to change. That's just a sad fact that everybody.
But nobody wants it to change, including the players. The players.
Bounty system that just got over. I mean, that just got uncovered. I mean, this is tacitly part of what they do.
Listen, boxing used to be 40 rounds of bare knuckle. 40 rounds.
All right. Well, let's
change.
Okay. Let's bring up another comparison. What other dangerous occupations are there? You could be a sergeant in Iraq and you make low 5 figures. These guys are getting compensated into 7 and sometimes 8 figures things.
But that's
and these guys aren't suing when they come back missing a limb.
That's not cause of injury. That's cause of how many people watch them play that game. Nobody's watching. Nobody's watching the Marine.
Yeah, but nobody's watching that. You know that when somebody hits someone really hard, the crowd cheers louder.
Yeah.
Oh, you took
I know. I love football.
And then everybody gets all silent and they get all weepy when they have to carry him off on the stretcher on the back of a golf cart.
Yeah.
Like what? You weren't cheering for it 30 seconds before?
But we don't understand the long-term injuries. We all cheer when they carry him off too. Like, yeah, at least he carried off somehow.
But I think we all do.
Yeah. Bill, you played football as a kid. Yeah, actually, you were the football. And you sustained no injuries.
I still have the skin issue, though.
Yeah.
Very tan. Some say 2.
Don't talk to me about tan.
Yeah, mine's crackly. I would say it's not just about suicide or period of life. It's about quality of life.
Right.
Now, you go to someone like Jim McMahon, or as Sherrod called him, Ed McMahon.
Yes.
I was so angry. I was so caught up.
Now, Jim McMahon,
so caught up in it.
Jim McMahon, or the punky QB known as McMahon when he had the field, he ain't got no plan.
Wow.
He will do an interview, and if it's a long interview, he won't remember the beginning part
What did
of
you
the
say?
first
I don't remember
interview.
what you just said.
Well, that's because of concussions.
I got to roll, but we have to understand the obvious, essential truth about life, which is many men, when they're younger, exchange 7 to 10 to 12 years of fame in exchange for the risk of injury and an obscurity later in life. It happens with rock stars. It happens with athletes. It's the trade-off people make.
Right.
Models make it. Child actors, which we'll find out later.
You want to at least have the memories, though. If you don't have the memories that glorify it, it's like you don't even remember
That's
what you did.
pictures are for.
Jim McMahon lived a great life. He's paying for it now, but he lived a wonderful, fantastic rock star-like life, and now.
And we have that great music video. I got to take a break. Do you have a comment on the show? Email us at red@foxnews.com, and to leave a voicemail, my direct line 212-462-5050. Still to come, the halftime report from TV's Andy Levy. No injury there.
Tonight's halftime report is sponsored by Shoelaces, those thin cords of varying lengths used for fastening shoes or other footwear. Thanks, Shoelaces.